a learning curve. Like how to manage.
Sorry, everybody. Should have turned off the notifications. People always seemingly call whenever I do a live. I got to always be diligent to put those in. I just played for you all. Oh. There it is. I don't know, folks. Facebook wants to shut it down. I really want this report. That was Soviet Union's national anthem of the former USSR. I've got a whole Facebook algorithm claiming ownership of it. What does that tell you? Facebook Canada claims ownership of it. Some key oligarchs out west are claiming ownership of it. And this, yeah, look at that. If you continue to play music you don't have permission to use. Now, who says that version by the Red Army Choir Band? It is no longer, folks, no longer. So let me get this straight. Canada, Amazon, a whole bunch of people have purchased the rights to the Soviet Union song. Why get into this, folks? And I don't know. I think this video is going to be torn down as soon as I officially end it. All of you watching it right now are going to probably likely be the only peoples to see it. And I have never seen this kind of critical alert before. I'm watching it right above right now, right above the title and the live. It's crazy. Crazy. But what's crazier than that is the last 24 hours in Canada. Trudeau with absolutely zero published platform says, from now on, folks, in Canada, coming very shortly, every single Canadian who owns a pickup truck from the equivalent of the 150 and upwards, basically a half-ton truck box up to the 1 ton, will be taxed an additional $1,000, incrementally going up to $4,000 to the 1 ton. Can you believe that? Now let me tell you in real economics what that absolutely means. It means all manufacturing, all agriculture, absolutely all construction and all trades are going to be hit with that. Now, for all small independent contractors, medium-sized Canadian businesses, large corporations will take their entire fleet where there is no, and I repeat, folks, there is no electric substitution for the country of Canada unless you officially and resoundingly wish to shut down all of those sectors over the winter entirely, which in Canada is no less, regardless of the 3-month increments in seasons. It's a 6-month period. Minimal. Largely for many, many areas of Canada's GDP generation of primary sector, you can call that 8 months. You can effectively predict an 8-month window of massive inability to use any electric platform going forward in those sectors for pickup trucks. There's no electric truck that's going to function well in Canada. Not even invented. It's hyperbolic. It's nothing less than theoretical. Theoretical, folks. We are now, Canadians, to pay for the cost of the Ukraine, the cost of the economic sanctions that are affecting us that have nothing to do with our manufacturing, agriculture, trade base. We have none of those ties with the Russian Federation. Zero, none whatsoever. But now Trudeau says, you know what? I'm going to take communist USSR, the motherland. For those who haven't read Russia's updated constitution, it's now the fatherland. It's the white, blue, red, not the red yellow hammer sickle. Sorry, folks. That is Eastern Ukraine, and a pile of former loyalists, Lenin, Stalin, who committed massive genocide and atrocities, apparently have disappeared from the radar of history out west now. We're to hear Justin Trudeau, who, remember, folks, clearly told all of you, I love the model of communism. I am intrigued by it. And now he's living by it because, folks, that's exactly what was done in USSR. This model transition where we make the primary sector pay. It was done in Nazi Germany. Did you know that, folks? Do you read your history books? Did you know that all tradespeople, all those in manufacturing, agriculture, construction, trades, were rendered to be useless in society, kicking around folks who are subject to state oversight, meaning transfer to the socialist state everything you've built and have. We're going to force you. We're going to make everything you utilize to make those goods, to grow the food, to harvest the animals, all of it entirely. We're going to tax the ever-loving hell out of it, thereby reducing all wages in all those industries and absolutely taking from the profit base, which is very limited, folks. If you don't know, it is at the best a 3% margin of profit for all those in those industries, even the small tradesmen. That's the truth. And now Trudeau wishes to take that. And you know what the industry responds with, folks? They say, okay, so you hit me with 1,000 for each and every truck. And your registration, folks, if you've got a truck like myself, your registration of that truck is going to trigger the tax. There's no getting out of it. If you haven't read the Constitution, provincially and federally, they can tax you by any mode, means necessary they determine. This was also the strength of the former Soviet Union, and it was also the strength of Nazi Germany. That's what they did. That's why we had colonial wars. They pick a segment of the population, and all the academic world, the public sector, the service sector says, oh yes, pick on them. They're in minority, even though they generate the wealth of the country. Who cares? Because we can borrow against the worthless lives of all of those citizens. And Nazi Germany was birthed. The former Soviet Union was birthed. Now, Vladimir Putin's put out a ton of publications in the last 16 hours in response to a lot of this. He answered me on the Arctic Council and the Arctic Oceans Conference that was to be held, but now they're dismissing Russia from it. Russia says, most certainly you cannot dismiss us, and we will entertain anybody on our own. You can respond to Russia. They're ready to receive you. Anybody, any First Peoples, any Canadians who wish to discuss the future of the Arctic and oil and gas. Because, I don't know, folks, it smells a lot like, to me, Joe Biden's Green New Deal agenda fell flat on its face. Absolutely it did. Now the radical left says, oh no, it's okay, we're going to release monumental amounts of oil, 180 million barrels of dirty oil. We've gone to all the totalitarian tyrants, all the autocrats with extreme human rights violations recorded live. But apparently for the left, that's okay. As long as it's in the name of their narrative, they can turn and flip on any dime and still tax the living shit out of you to power their public sector that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. The pyramid scheme, the UN Sustainable Development, UN unsustainable. Put it together, folks. Unsustainable development, meaning for a class structure of an old system that's not to be in the world today. Communism fell, but not Justin Trudeau, not Joe Biden, not a whole pile of folks. Ladies and gentlemen, a massive recession is coming. A targeted exploitation against a serious minority of Canadians. Farmers, you're at your lowest you've ever been in Canadian history per person per capita. And they want more. I can tell you, Hamilton calls for, we want to take farms away from the farmers and develop them for housing in the new housing subsidized program where they can't even get the goods and the products. In one face, Trudeau says, we're going to build 500,000 houses. Pierre Poilievre says that he's going to do 1 million. You're going to all pay for it. And to ensure that, they're going to tax the hell out of everybody in agriculture, manufacturing, construction, trades, and anybody else who owns a pickup truck. You're going to pay to transition, to force you. Lose your truck because now you're not going to get any money for it. No Canadian is going to want to buy a truck when they know there's a massive attachment of tax to the registry of that vehicle. Trudeau said you can't sell your trucks anymore because now there's a massive tax attached to it to the potential buyer. We scrapped your asset, and then we're going to make you buy a 30,000 charging station, have it installed minimum in your home. And I'm sorry, folks, that's minimum $30,000. You can go much higher in older homes. Homes built after 2012. That's a fact. Most houses before that require massive additions in your supplied energy grid, your electrical boxes. I can tell you right here in Hamilton, none of the homes in Hamilton, anything of what is Hamilton today in its older sectors, can support that. Let alone there are no wages for anyone to buy said electric vehicles. Scrapping people with trucks so then businesses who must utilize them in service, construction, manufacturing, agriculture are going to have to pass the buck to you. When we're talking about $1,000 to $8,000 or $4,000 in business per vehicle, you can double that to the end user, possibly even tripling it. That means the end user is looking at an additional cost of $3,000 to $12,000. That's what Trudeau's tax equals. And if you don't pay or you don't transition to electric, this is what you're going to get. But none of those industries can transition to electric. None of those people can transition to electric because electric trucks at that capacity, at those distances, don't exist, are theoretical. But this tax is very real, meaning you don't have a way out unless you want to quit the industry you're working in, end your business, which you'll never get paid back for your fleet of trucks because no one's going to buy them except at an extremely reduced rate. Think of it like Russian sanctions. Canada is sanctioning you. Which brings me to, again, the lowlife, degenerate, sick CBC, and one Professor Cohen from the University of Toronto, a dirty old bastard, 80 years old, chime in about how Canadians have never been so wealthy in their history. You're all a bunch of blubbering babies. Well, after all, look at your massive wealth you hold in housing. Your homes are so overvalued, and the commodity crash is coming. It's coming, folks. The massive recession. You remember that when you look at CBC and Professor Cohen again from the University of Toronto, one of the longest running liberal loving supporters, communist economics, the motherland, that now the same groups say they own the content. The content I played for you by Boris Yeltsin. Apparently, they all own that now too. So exactly what are we? Because it's been very clear to me that we're colonial crown who already proved to me when I first tried to register my party in big C, little c codification. Canada didn't want none of it. Conservatives, liberals, all the leaders, NDP, Communist Party, PPC, Green, Bloc, goes on and on. They went to Elections Canada because they get to chime in. And they said there will be no lowercase. We will never allow the people of Canada to ever have any real big C, little c codification of constitutionalism. We would rather force communism. Capital letter communism. That is the letter. I released it all to you guys. It's why I don't register and run out with my party. It's why we went to P, C, C in caps. Because I have no choice. That is the country we live in. Now, apparently in law, upper and lower case are okay, except for in the political party process for the ballot box. And that is the reason they give. They would rather have communism than big C, little c codification, meaning powers to you, the people. And the history of this song and what they did to agriculture, manufacturing, construction, and trades, just like the Democratic Socialist Republic, which would be Nazi Germany, did, just like the Soviet Union, and people fight about what's going on here. A colonial merger of class with that communism. They would rather give up their pyramid third class for their large base, tower straight up in the air with a little penthouse communist class. The wealthy elite, state, and then all of you, the filthy animals at the bottom. All of you put into a slave class. Is that an upgrade for the First Peoples of Canada? I suppose you're not going to get your land back, because in communism, the absolute removal of all property rights ensures none of you get nothing. If you ever want to know the history of the First Peoples of the former Soviet Union, we can go into that too. We will be going into that too. That's later in Residential School Genocide. Things every Canadian and First People need to know. But I can assure you all, this is the narrative of Justin Trudeau, as well as Pierre Poilievre. He's going forward with it. Jagmeet Singh loves it. Green Party loves it, and even in fact wants a Green New Deal, nothing like Joe Biden's, Green Equalization. That the Bloc, who supposedly is in line lots with the Conservatives on social conservatism, is completely communist in economics. Physical conservatism is real conservatism. That's the number one definition. Well, at least in the Federation of Russia, according to the Lexigalos, and at least according to Webster's United States of America. But if you look at the Oxford definition, oh no. We don't have anything other than socialism oligarchy here in Canada. Sorry, folks. If you don't see what's going on here, if you don't see the rise of an evil long forgotten apparently by Canadians, an evil that birthed Nazi Germany as it was through the 30s to absolutely the world's worst war ever seen, World War II. You're transitioning into it. You're leading it. Why? Because we're the first build of it. Canada won. Manchester, London. That's what we're going into. It's a colonial communist unification. They'll take communism over any real democracy, any equality of the person. No, no, no. There will be no equality of person. You will be remained in class structure in their pyramid scheme. A lot of people try to narrate what that is. I'm telling you in real economics clearly what it was, what it is now for all Canadians. Your grocery bills are not going down. Your energy costs are absolutely not going down. And effectively the cost of manufacturing and goods, which means your exports, are going to tank. Only the large, wealthy foreign companies will be able to do business and afford Trudeau's tax. You can kiss the domestic Canadian goodbye. You are going to witness farmers giving up in record groves. At least those not loyal to the Trudeau Foundation, because he will transfer subsidies, just like equalization, just like dairy, just like the rest of the centralist system. Those loyal, those important for his base, will be spared. But the vast majority, all of Western Canada, Atlantic provinces, they got a sweet deal for Newfoundland, so Newfoundland thinks. But they haven't seen the new green equalization. They haven't seen what's going to happen with those pickup trucks. Now, the big companies are just going to pass that buck on to all of you. And Trudeau says, hey, I'm not in the trades. Most of my voting base is not a tradesman, not a construction worker, not a real manufacturer in primary sector, not a real farmer, not a real anything of the primary that generates wealth, not a resource harvester, not a miner. None of it. None of it in those tertiary. You're all absolutely removed from the path forward of Canada. Not only removed, you're to fund it at your absolute expense. Canadians, you're going into a massive, massive recession. You're to be forced to transition into electric, whether that's viable or not, which means you can kiss your careers goodbye. You remember the Green Party and Justin Trudeau and that filthy Jagmeet singing how nobody left behind? Don't worry, we're going to transition you. You should worry now. You should worry now, because you're most certainly left behind. This was not in the platform. This is brand new. This is called creating world trillionaires at absolutely first and foremost Canadian citizens' expense. If you think you can survive this transition, I'm sorry, in your climate, Canada, there is no electric truck coming to save you. There's no windmill steam truck coming to save you. It's not going to function in the climate we have here in Canada. We've all been bamboozled. We're all getting left behind, and we're subsidizing a war in a foreign land that has no bearing on this country. Zero economically, none whatsoever. But yet somehow it absolutely does. Why is that? Because somebody's fucking you. That's why. Somebody needs to take your wealth and transfer it to somebody else. Somebody in a foreign land. Number one malfunction of Canada. If you haven't read it, Section 91 of the 1867 consolidated that first 2/3 of your Constitution. Section 91, and then the provincial Section 92, says they can tax you by any mode, means necessary that they deem, which means you have no taxation with representation, none whatsoever. because none of you exist in the Constitution. You didn't vote for Trudeau. You're not loyal to Trudeau. You're loyal to the generation of primary GDP, real wealth of the country, and that goes against the global narrative. Globalization that's at war right now. It's at war right now. And they need to liquidate you. You've got to learn to live with nothing. Your house wealth by the University of Toronto. You've never been wealthier in your overpriced homes created by the same socialist colonial nutcases, the alt-left, who've ballooned your houses when it also includes the Conservatives, every party in Canada. They don't see a problem with this. No land available for you, less than 11% of the country, almost half as much as communist China. And they're telling you, it's okay, don't worry about it. We got this. Just let us tax the shit out of you. Let's destroy our primary generators, which is exactly what they did to create Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union. Uh-oh. What are you going to do, folks? What are we going to do? When do people wake up? Share this video, get it out there. I don't know if it's going to survive. I am in hot red with Facebook. They're threatening me on this video. I played what they own. I guess they have the legal rights to Boris Yeltsin's version of his national anthem. They all claim they own it now. Who the fuck are you people? Because it's clear you're colonial. And now it appears you are the motherland USSR. You're both. Because anything but the power of the people, anything, they'll take and embrace communism. They're loving their crown colonial system. But if we break it, this is what they're going to force. Trudeau's already trying to do it. He is leader of the NWO. All the political parties in Canada are in it to win it. That's my video. Share. You can't even disprove anything I say because it's completely verifiable. You don't need a major economics degree to figure out what the fuck this country's doing to you. And it makes no rhyme or reason. Is completely against what they said. Nobody left behind. First sacrificial lambs, just like USSR did, and before that, Nazi Germany did. Exactly what they did. To force all you to give up your children to the state to send them off to a war. Trudeau's already planning it. It's the Nazi design. It's how the Nazis built their great army to march on the world. How did they do it? Starve the people. Lie, manipulate, cheat, and steal from them. Control the media. Create the issues you face today. He's a tyrant in that case. And the sad reality, Pierre Poilievre is twice as bad. When I read what he's published, not what he lies and says to you all. Trudeau was a good liar too. That's my video. Share. It's up to you to get it out there. It's up to you to get this out, because how can any of this be justified? Where is it in this platform? Oh, just these people are left behind. That is a trademark of Canada. Always picking a segment of the population to rape, pillage, and plunder. And gets everybody in what the illusion of democracy, vote for our tyranny and who we're going to oppress. That's what you're sold in Canada. Does that sound like a normal, functioning country? Oh no. There's nothing normal about it, never has been. And they pay people from Toronto and Ottawa, BC, those loyal, all with the ties to the British. Oh no, this is great, wonderful. We got IQs through the roof. No, you don't. You don't. I could sit here and tell everybody my IQ. What the fuck does your IQ have to do with your tyrannical policies? Absolutely nothing. I don't want to hear about how smart you are when the results of this, I have a high IQ. Well, the product and results of your high IQ show that you're mentally deficient, defective. Sorry, but that's not genius. That's called scumbag. You don't have to be smart or stupid to know what a scumbag is. A piece of shit. A traitor. A killer of the people. We saw it with Lenin and Stalin. We saw it with Nazi Germany and all those other colonial designs and communists. It's never worked out any good at all. But yet, they embrace it. And like I said in my video, red flag, the worst one I've ever seen. And when I close this out, likely all of you who witnessed this today may very well be all there is to this video. Sad, pathetic, gross. But it proves, guess who's bought the rights to the USSR, folks? All those Western oligarchs, all these that we seemingly embrace blindly as they destroy our sectors, our small business, domestic business owners, medium and large. Because in this system, there's only enough life rafts for those loyalists to the crown. And if you're in for making money and a real contribution to GDP, you're not down with their system. You're going down the ladder, down the pyramid. Bye now.